I want to remain anonymous for good reason, and you'll know after the first story. But if there's time, I will tell you 2 stories. When my daughter, Karissa's mother, was a teenager, she had this cat that she loved dearly, and we had had it for several years, and it got very sick. And when it was sick, it wouldn't take care of itself. It wouldn't keep itself clean. And it was sick for several weeks before it started to get better, and then when it started to get better, it still took another couple of weeks. And by the time it was better, it was so disgustingly dirty because during all that time of when it was sick, it wouldn't keep itself clean. Now the cat's well again, but he doesn't want to clean himself because he's so filthy dirty. He disgusts himself, and this is true. So one day when the kids were not home, I decided that I analyzed this. I took a lot of time to analyze it, and I decided I would give it a bath, but I was going to bath it in the washing machine. So I took the cat and I set the washing machine on gentle cycle, on small load, and lukewarm water. And first of all, I filled the washer for the small load, and then I put soap into the machine so it was soapy, and then I put the cat in the machine, and I sat on the lid, and I put it on gentle cycle so it just slowly swished away. Of course, the cat was livid and mad and trying to get out, and it would have got out if I wasn't sitting on the lid. And then after it got through swishing, then I let the washer drain, and then I skipped past the spin cycle so it wouldn't spin, and then I let the machine start to fill up with clear water to rinse the cat. As the machine was filling up with the clear water, my daughter came home and caught me. And so from there on, she took over the washing and took the cat out and finished washing it in the laundry sink under the tap. And I've never lived it down. But you know what? That cat, it was so clean, and it smelled so good, and it knew it smelled good, and I felt like it thanked me for getting it cleaned up after having been so sick. And that's my story, and I stand by it. But I've never lived it down from anybody. And then the second story about a cat it was a stray cat, and it was pregnant, and probably in labor, and it just sat itself down in the middle of the driveway and wouldn't budge. And my brother had come from Ogden with a trailer that he was going to leave at my house for a few days, a utility trailer, so that I could do some yard work and clean up the yard. Well, he wanted to take the trailer into the backyard, but this cat was in the middle of the driveway and would not move. You couldn't even scare it off. So my brother decided that he could straddle the cat, get to the backyard, drop off the trailer, and come back. Well, as he went down the driveway, he had a few things in that he was taking over to his cabin at Bear Lake that were in his van, and some of them were poking out the window. And as he went down the driveway, one of them clipped the fence post and rammed it all the way through his rear window and smashed the window. So that was pretty upsetting. But we got that all met, and the cat still didn't move. It stayed there. And we got that mess all cleaned up, and he left the trailer and he went on his way. Well, the next day, the cat had had its babies in our window well, right at the side of the driveway within 3 feet of where it had been laying. And she had 4 little babies, and it was in the early spring, and it just kept sleeting and raining and snowing. And it'd come in on an angle, and it'd get down in this window well and get this mother and her babies wet at times. So I felt kind of bad for him, so I went out and found a sheet of plywood that I could lean against the house and kind of keep most of that rain and sleet out of going into the window well. And one of my friends up the street had a little bit of straw, so I come and put that in the window well for her to lay on, and then I would bring out food to her, and so she could stay with her babies. Well, I took care of her in that way for several weeks, and then the weather started to clear up and warm up because it was spring, and I was sitting out on the front porch on my porch swing and was reading a book, and it was just a very, very quiet day. And here comes the mother around the corner of the house with one of her babies, and she walks up the stairs and she walks over by me, and she just puts it on the porch right by my feet for me to see. And after I had a good look, then she picked up her baby and she took it back around the corner of the house, put it back in the window well, and brought me the second baby. And she did that 4 times. She brought all 4 babies and took them all back. And I just felt like she was telling me, thank you for being so kind to a poor old kitty that didn't have a home and was pregnant and was having babies. And those are my 2 stories. I hope they work for you, Karissa.